Welcome everyone to the Laredo College Alumni Series. Today we have Marcella Juarez and Manuel Juarez Jr., founders of the Palo Blanco Farm and Ranch here in Laredo, Texas, and two proud Laredo College alumni. How are you all doing today?
Doing great. Thank you so much for having us.
No, thank you for coming. It's really an honor to have you here. So I want to start up with having y'all tell me a little bit about yourselves and how did your journey here at Laredo College begin?
Okay, so my name is Marcella Juarez. I am part owner and the farm manager of Palo Blanco Farm and Ranch. So I grow everything that we produce. I'm very proud to be a Southside kid, but also a ranch kid. We grew up on the ranch, so we didn't grow up in a neighborhood or anything. We grew out there, so it's very near and dear to our heart.
Since the beginning,
Yes,
then. Okay,
yes.
okay. How long have you been in this ranch, or have this ranch been on your family?
So the land has actually been in our family for over 160 years. So we have really deep roots here. We've got a deep connection to our family's land. And, it was always a dream of ours to transform the ranch into productive land to actually feed our community.
Okay, so it was your dream since you were kids, teenagers?
For me, it happened when I was 18. Yeah, when I was going to graduate from high school and I was going to leave the ranch. That's when I really realized how much I loved it. And I knew I wanted to come back. But I actually didn't know you could study agriculture. I didn't know you could be a farmer in this day and age until I came to LC. And they opened my eyes and really put me on the path that led me to who I am and also a business owner. I never thought I'd be a business owner.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can imagine someone, starts studying something, but then when they have their own business, they're like, wow, I did it. How was it for you, Manuel? Do you always wanted to, have your own business and be an agriculture major?
Well, it's funny the way it happened. Everything happens for a reason, they say, right? So in the beginning, along with Marcella, we kind of had these abstract dreams of what the ranch could be and what our future careers might look like. And, we studied agriculture starting at LC and then moving on to Texas State, earning our master's degrees. And starting the business was an absolutely new chapter for both of us. And it's just been so incredible to look back and reflect on where we started and how far we've come. And we're just getting started. This is just the beginning of Palo Blanco Farm and Ranch. So we've got a long way to go. And it's just so wonderful to be back at LC where it all started.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine. And we're more than glad to have both of you here today. And so how do you start a business in this type of industry where you grow fresh food? Can you tell us more about Palo Blanco Farm and Ranch?
Sure. So Palo Blanco Farm and Ranch is a family-owned and run operation operating on land that has been in our family for over 160 years. And our mission is to provide Laredo with access to fresh, local, and healthy food and grow it in a way that not only betters the health of the land, but also our community as well. So we grew up on the south side, went to elementary and middle school in Rio Bravo, and that's where I really saw what lack of food access does to a community, to my friends, to my classmates, to their families. And so I didn't realize it at the time, but that planted a little seed in me that later, like Manuel said, we came to realize what a blessing the ranch was. And so we wanted to figure out how do we use that to help not only ourselves, but all of Laredo, all of our community. So it was a journey, and we studied agriculture. We didn't study how to be business owners. So that was a whole new journey that we've been undertaking. But really, we had to find community, and we had to connect with other farmers and ranchers in Texas, wherever they were, to see how are you doing it? How is it possible? Because there's not many farmers nowadays.
Yeah. When I heard that you had a businesses in this industry, I was really curious, like, what do they do? What's their day-to-day basis? How this type of business works. So you started by networking with other farmers and other businesses that were really similar to yours.
Yes, especially because we offer a variety of products. Manuel, I don't know if you want to run down everything we grow.
Yeah. So we grow we produce grass-fed beef. We have farm fresh eggs from our chickens. One of the things that we actually studied one of the things we studied while getting our master's degrees was hydroponic farming, which is a way to grow food without soil. Instead of the soil, you use a nutrient-rich solution. So that was actually instrumental in our journey because hydroponics actually overcomes a lot of the obstacles and the challenges that we face trying to grow food in South Texas. We're farming in a region that is very drought prone. We don't get a lot of rain here. We've got triple digit temperatures, maybe like 9 months out of the year. So to grow food in that kind of climate is incredibly challenging. So studying hydroponics in grad school, we actually built and managed the first ever hydroponic system at Texas State.
Wow.
That was just incredibly instrumental in our journey, and we realized we needed to be strategic in the way that we go about trying to produce food.
So we have hydroponic lettuce. We offer a wide variety of microgreens, which are a really easy to produce and nutrient dense food that really helps the health of our community. But as you can see, we're not just growing one thing, we're offering a variety because we know that food security is really important. And so to navigate, beef and eggs, they all have their different nuances and red tape that we have to figure out. So it's been a challenge, but again, connecting with other producers who are already doing beef or eggs, they really helped guide us. So that way we can actually bring this to Laredo.
Can you say like the biggest challenge that you've had is weather related when it comes to your business?
Well, that's definitely one of the main challenges. But I think for us, very unique to our story, we actually started our business in 2020, March 2020, literally
it's
right
brand new
before the
almost.
pandemic.
See.
So trying to start a business during the pandemic when farmers markets were closing down, restaurants were being shut down, that was an incredible challenge for us to overcome and kind of navigate. How are we going to actually get our product out there during this never before seen kind of global pandemic?
And how did you make it happen? How did you survive the pandemic?
So one of the things that we started doing, as I said, the farmers market was shutting down. We actually started doing farm to table deliveries first Friday of every month, where we split into two teams. My mom and myself will do the south side of Laredo. My sister and my dad do the north side. And we deliver our produce to foods all over the county. And
literally farm to table, delivered by your farmer. But that was something we had to create, because everything was shut down. And I do have to give a shout out to Laredo Main Street. They did have a virtual farmers market during the pandemic. So that helped us get our foot in the door. And a lot of it is just people don't know that there's a farm and ranch out here. So Manuel is actually our social media manager. That's why our website looks so nice and all that. But that was instrumental because we were starting during a pandemic. That's how people really knew about us. And it's because of Manuel's work and our social media presence that chefs actually reached out to us and said, hey, we want to buy from you. So that was a blessing. We had our customers coming to us during this crazy shutdown time.
No, yeah, I can imagine. And as you mentioned, you're agriculture majors trying to start a business, and then you start the business, and this happens. But I mean, for you both not to be a business majors, you did a great job. You were adapting to the environment, to what was going on the pandemic, which I believe it was pretty hard, and I'm sure it was really hard. So how do you feel that LC helped you shape your journey to starting your own business? How did LC give you those tools to make it happen?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I didn't even know you could study agriculture. I didn't know you could be a farmer until I got to LC. And actually, I had a friend who was doing some work study position. He said, hey, do you want a job? They need someone to go to LBJ High School, which is where we graduated from. So I was like, sure, I was just hanging out at home, like, let me do something. And it's through there that I found about a scholarship, a STEM scholarship that was gonna not only help us pay for LC, but also help us transfer to Texas State. So because of that, LC opened my whole world that you can be a producer. It taught me about agriculture because we are so disconnected to where our food is grown. A lot of times if you ask kids where food comes from, they say HEB. And it's like, that's kind of true, but it's also the farmer who had to take it, it took a couple steps to get there. Yeah. But if I hadn't gone to LC, I would not have studied agriculture, and that is my absolute passion. I am so happy and proud and grateful that I've dedicated my life to this field because it really impacts everyone. Everyone eats. It impacts the environmental health and impacts the health of our community, of the globe, really.
Yes.
And so it feels really rewarding to be able to work in an industry that I feel is doing good. And there are ways to produce food that is going to help the land. It's also going to make it healthier food available as well. So if it wasn't for Elsie, I would have never started this journey. When I was 18, I wanted to study everything. I wanted to be like an athletic trainer. I wanted to do journalism. So if I hadn't gone to Elsie, I probably would have gone down one of those paths, realized I didn't like it, and then probably like 10 or 20 years later decide, okay, I want to be a farmer. So Elsie really opened my eyes and put me on the path that I was meant to be on.
Yes, I understand. And what about you, Manuel?
I couldn't agree more. We went to LBJ High School. At that time, there was no 4-H program or FFA or anything that would kind of introduce us to a possible career path in agriculture. So again, LC was quite foundational. It literally put us on the roadmap to getting our degree in agriculture. And who knew, starting a business a few years later.
Yeah, I can see. And I'm curious, what does a day-to-day, basis looks like? What do you do in the morning, in the afternoon? I mean, it's such a different field that many people don't know about. Mm-hmm. So please illustrate us.
Sure. So for Manuel and I, our day-to-day looks a little different. So I'm the farm manager. I love working and growing with the plants. So that's my main responsibility. So every day I need to water, harvest, transplant, take care of any plant work that needs to be done. And, plants and animals don't know about holidays and weekends and stuff like that. So I work every day. I'm very lucky. I've worked every day, for like the past 6 years or so. But it also entails, looking out for the chickens. We got to make sure the cows have water, feed. We actually just got 5 new calves at the ranch, so that's very exciting as well. But it depends. And, during the summer, we work a lot harder than when we get those 3 months or so that aren't triple digits or high 90s.
That they're fresh, not cold, fresh. Yes. Here in Laredo, yeah.
Yeah, so we have to work harder during the summer. And I always say that farming in South Texas becomes like an extreme sport because you have to get not only the animals and the plants, but also yourself through that extreme heat as well. So my day-to-day tends to be more with the plants, cleaning, washing trays, doing more of the farm side of things, where Manuel, he really handles like our customers, our marketing, our branding, getting us out there. And I'll let him tell you more about his day.
Yeah, no. In addition to helping out with the chickens and with the greens as needed, the majority of my work revolves around marketing, social media, managing our website. And, one thing that we've learned as farmers, as local business owners, we have to wear many hats. You're looking at not only the head farmer and the social media manager, you're also looking at the customer service department, the accounting department. There's so much that goes into running a business in the day-to-day. So we do wear a lot of hats. My work also involves creating content for our social media and our website. So some days I'm in the kitchen creating recipes and doing photo shoots and video shoots. Some days we're prepping for a farmer's market and I'm making a juice to sell at the farmer's market or harvesting our eggs, Every day we have our constant duties that need to get done every day, but depending on what we have that week, whether it's deliveries to our restaurant clients or to our local community, the day-to-day can look a little bit different, but there's never a dull moment, I can tell you that.
It's not a boring job.
Yes, no. You will not be bored on a farm. Yeah.
Yes.
That's perfect. And how do you feel that you acquired those skills? Because you studied agriculture, but now you're a social media manager. You go to farmer markets. You have to do all of these extra stuff that is going to help your business. You're not hiring someone from the outside. You're not outsourcing. So how do you believe you learn all of these skills?
So throughout our journey through LC and Texas State, I've actually had the opportunity to serve in student organizations And that's actually how I got my feet wet with social media management. So I would organize content and promote, fundraising events and stuff like that. And that's where I first got a little bit of experience there. After I graduated, I actually worked for an environmental nonprofit here in Laredo, and I managed their social media. And that's when I also gained skills like networking and building connections in my community. So it's been a long time coming, but doing events like doing community engagement and events like that also really helped me gain those skills to put myself out there at a farmer's market and engage with people when they come to our booth.
And I think a lot of it is just learning on the job, right? You don't know, and the best teacher is experience. Like I always say that, and that's especially true for our type of business. We really didn't see many other businesses like us out here, so we've had to, learn by trial and error. And something else that I think we've both done a really great job of is asking for help. If you don't know, look for a conference or look for someone who's doing what you want to do and ask for help. So I think that's a lot of how we've grown, is just, you just got to dive in and sink or swim. Yeah, sink or swim. And luckily we're still floating, we're still swimming.
Yeah.
So experience has been the best teacher for us.
So that could be an advice that you could give current students and alums in Laredo College that would like to start their own business, or sometimes they're confused on not knowing what to study, not knowing what major to proceed to. So as you mentioned, you're an agriculture major. What's an advice for those students that are on a path but may end up going to another one? Like for you, we want to be agriculturists, but you have now your own business. So what advice can you give those students that may be on a current path but may end up on another one?
My advice would be follow your passion, especially, it's a lot of hard work. And when you care about it, then you're going to put in that time and energy. If you don't care about it, then you might want to find a different path. But definitely follow your passion, because it's going to be a lot of work. So you might as well enjoy and actually believe in what you're doing. I would also say, don't be tied to a plan. My plan as an 18-year-old going, into college was very different than what my life ended up being like. But, you have to put yourself out there, apply for this scholarship. If your friend calls and offers you a job, take it, don't just stay home and play video games or whatever it is you're doing, take those opportunities that are presented to you, because there are a lot. And once people see that you take those opportunities, more opportunities come. And that's actually how Manuel and I were able to earn our master's degree. Our professors saw we were serious as undergraduates, so they offered us a scholarship to pursue our master's degree. And so again, taking advantage of those opportunities, and also don't be afraid to do it scared. It is scary, putting yourself out there, but do it scared.
I love that advice.
And I would just add, like what you were saying, sometimes we think we have this path that we're supposed to be on, and something happens and we find a new path instead. So there's this quote that I think applies really well. It's not rejection, it's redirection. And I think one of the best skills to have is that resiliency to bounce back. And, when life takes a turn in an unexpected direction, roll with it, see what other opportunities and advantages, might fall into your lap. And then I would also advise, find a coach, find a mentor. I think some of the most successful people in the world are people that have hired coaches and mentors, and learn from others' mistakes, because you don't know what you don't know, So that would be one of the best pieces of advice. And ultimately, I know it's a little cheesy, but believe in yourself.
Yes, of course.
You never
Not
know.
cheesy at all. I love that. Yes, you need to believe in yourself to make it happen first. And it's normal to be scared, especially when starting a business. So as we mentioned, you're gonna find a lot of challenges in the way. But when you were barely starting your business, what do you feel was the biggest challenge, and how did you overcome that challenge?
For me, I'll say the biggest challenge was how do we do this and be profitable? Again, not a business major at all. I did take one business class somewhere in my career, but with agriculture, because we're dealing with live plants and animals, it's very different than other businesses. And so, again, I had to push myself to how do I grow into this position? How do I make this work? Who do I reach out to? And so for me, the biggest thing was how do we operate profitably? And so I took, some online courses to try and, improve myself. And again, because I did that, there was an opportunity for me to work with a financial consultant that specializes with farms and ranches specifically. And so he really turned us around so we are profitable. And kind of also to that, we started during the pandemic, and our mission is to feed Laredo. So that was a very emotional kind of time because I wanted our prices to be as low as possible because I want people to afford good food. But at the same time, and as Manuel, he was really good at helping me learn this lesson, we have to be able to sustain ourselves to be able to continue to grow food for the community. So for me, that was the biggest challenge because, again, not a business major. And then just internally, I had this push and pull between it's a pandemic. I want to offer as low prices as possible. But at the same time, we have to sustain our business so that way we continue to do the good work that we're trying to do.
Of course, of course. What about you, Manuel?
So one of the challenges that we faced also was our product. So one of the products that we're most known for is our microgreens. And we had just recently learned what microgreens are and how incredibly nutrient dense they are. They are superfoods in every sense of the word. So we had to go through the journey of developing recipes and creating guidelines for how to eat them, how to store them. Because for a lot of people in our community, microgreens are a new food. So, showing up to the farmer's market with, a type of food that no one's ever heard of before, that certainly was a challenge in learning how to market it and how to show people that this is actually the solution to so many of the health problems that we see. We see so many people in Laredo with diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, obesity. In fact, I just recently learned Laredo is unfortunately one of the most unhealthiest cities. We have really high rates of those diseases, and a lot of those diseases come from lack of access to nutritious food, fresh food. So it's definitely been a journey in learning how to bring our microgreens to Laredo, and but the community has really embraced us. And we have customers now who tell us that after eating our microgreens consistently, their doctors are telling them they're in the right direction, that their health is improving, those numbers are going down. And I mean, that just warms our heart. That just makes
good.
It's all worth it.
Yes, yes. It makes you feel that it's all worth it. And I also heard that you all made a donation to the college. So you actually gave back to the college through your organization. Can you tell us more about the donation that you gave to the culinary arts?
Yes. So we've worked with Chef Perez at the Culinary Arts Program in the South Campus, which actually we started at the South Campus. So yeah, love the South Campus.
Shout out to the South Campus. Yeah.
But we've worked with them before, and Chef Perez reached out to us again about some opportunities. We actually presented to her class as well. And so we were able to help them with, I think it was a Valentine's luncheon that they were having. But it feels really great to connect with these young culinary arts students. And again, because food is so powerful and it connects everyone in one way or another. So that was a really great opportunity to talk to these young aspiring chefs, culinary artists, and again, get to show them the food that's grown locally, because there's not a lot of options for locally grown food. But yeah, whenever we get the opportunity to work with local organizations, students, the college, we love sharing and, also, trying to educate people on like what's going on with food, because that's a big topic, and there's a lot to go into.
Yes, yes, I've heard about that donation. I was like, okay, I love alums that give back to the college. We love to see that here at the college. So thank you for that. Now, I want to close this interview by having you say some words of wisdom to our current students and alums that you wish you heard before starting your business or even your career, choosing your path, so that they can take that as an advice.
Well, I think I've said a lot of them. Take advantage of those opportunities, follow your passion for sure. Even though if it's not the most conventional thing, being a farmer by no means is something conventional or common. Sometimes we can feel we want to take the safe route that everyone's taken, but you never know what the journey will lead, when you strike out on your own path. And again, don't be afraid to do it scared. Through LC, through this opportunity, not only were we able to learn about agriculture, that we could study it, find our path, find scholarships, come back home and give back to our community. But we've also made some lifelong friends through that scholarship at LC and, other students who are also studying agriculture. And when you find that community, it really gives you that fuel and support to continue. But yeah, if you're already at LC, I think you're doing great. You made a great decision already. And yeah, follow your path. And even if it's a little scary, keep going.
What about you, Manuel?
I totally agree. Again, I would say you have to believe in yourself and believe in your dreams. Maybe you might not see the path, but if you really believe in it, you'll find a way there. And again, invest find a mentor, find someone who you can shadow and learn from, and understand the career path that you are going to be entering and make sure it's something that you're really passionate in. They say if you find a job that you love, you'll never work a day in your life. So yeah, definitely find what it is that you really want to do for the rest of your life, and what ways can you serve and give back to your community.
And that's a journey. It'll take time to find,
yeah.
your passions and your interests. But yeah, you got to start somewhere. So don't be afraid to take that first step.
Absolutely.
I love that, and I wanted to ask you, what does it mean to you today to be an LC alum?
Oh man, I am so proud to be an LC alum. We actually have very deep connections to LC. Our mother was one of the founding professors at the South campus. She taught at LC for 16 years. And then our grandfather, he also was, I believe, academic dean from like the 70s to the 90s. And again, he's really a great example of coming back to your community to give back. And that was something that my mother always said. She's like, yeah, leave Laredo, but come back and share what you learn. Make it better when you come back. And so, yeah, I'm so happy to be an LC alum. It feels great to be able to be, working with the culinary arts students, working with the South campus. We want to open it up so we can do tours and bring those students out and stuff.
Hey, sign me up. Sign me up, please. Sign me up.
But having that community, and that's what I really feel like I found at LC, was that community to not only help me grow and help me leave Laredo, but also that community to welcome me back and support what we're doing. We've gotten, such great reception from the community who said, Laredo needs this, Laredo needs healthy food. And so having that community to help you leave, but also welcoming you back, is one of the best things that I think I got from LC.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I would add, being back here on LC campus, it's just so full circle, and it's giving me a little bit of perspective and just how important LC and pursuing our education, how much that has paid off in our lives and gotten us to where we are today. So for any current LC students, you're on the right path. The path may wind sometimes and go unexpected places, but this is where you are supposed to be. This is where you need to be right now. So trust the process. I can't tell you that enough.
And enjoy it también.
Enjoy it, yeah.
Coming back on campus is like, oh, I remember we used to
Going
go
to class
here.
here.
All the throwbacks and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
And just all the
Yes.
fun you have, when you're at this point in your life, and you're trying to figure out what it is you want to do and stuff. So yeah, you gotta have fun too, right?
Yeah.
And we're always glad to have you back.
All right, thank you.
thank you.
So, Marcella, Manuel, thank you for sharing your story, sharing how to start your own business, even though you may have to learn some new skills and take different paths. Thank you for sharing all of your stories. Thank you for you.
Thank you
Thank you
for
so much
having
for
us.
having us.
Thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you on the next LC Alumni Series.